So in this episode, which is, I think it must be the 7th episode of The Word Unleashed, called In the Eye of the Storm, we see Jesus obviously in the eye of a storm. And what I find fascinating about this, and one thing I really noticed within this was this. So there's a storm going on, and the disciples are a bit worried about it, to say the very least. In fact, they're quite fearful. And so and there's Jesus is asleep in the boat, sleeping on a cushion. I don't know why that detail's there, but it shows us a real bit of detail. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" And that's what I noticed. I was thinking, actually, I wonder whether many of us feel the same. That we think, Jesus, don't you care if we drown? Now, for them, this was a real drowning. It was real water. It was a real sea. It was a real bad storm. But for us, I don't know what a drowning might be. Might be all sorts of things. We might be drowning in financial problems or with family struggles. Could be anything. Could be anything that we might be drowning with. But Jesus is there to help us when we're drowning. And that's exactly what he does here. If you read the rest of the story, you'll know that Jesus does do something about this. So what does this tell about Jesus? Jesus does care if we drown. He does care about it. What does it tell us as people? What it tells us is that we can be drowning, but we can come to God and ask for help. In fact, there's one of the early church leaders writes this: "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he's done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand." So we can experience this peace in the same way as the disciples experienced the peace on the sea, where it became completely calm, because Jesus does care if we drown. And so if we're drowning, if you're drowning, if I'm drowning, I come to Jesus because he cares about these things and will give us peace when in some ways, when we least expect it. So that's what I thought about it. What do you think? Thanks for keeping in touch with us.